my sincerity. Okay, I must apologize to you. Remember last week you asked me about this question about solidarity. Was it successful for solidarity?
Yeah.
Things right. Okay, my apologize. I'm going to confess my sincere apology to you. And you take out this book at page 125. Can I have the question and send in the chat group again, just in case I misinterpret your questions? This question was what? Can you give me the question again? Was it successful, something like that? But thanks to you, thanks to you, I did the research, and okay, let's share now, okay. Okay. What is this?
I need to look for it first.
Wait, I shared the wrong side. Okay, thanks for the questions. Okay, children. Rayton not there, huh?
I'm here.
Okay, Rayton, sorry. That day I don't know why I burst Watong. It's the same thing. I also say something wrong in the social study about PMET. Now, solidarity is actually solitary is actually done or exists alone, one person. Solidarity is actually a party, which is Singapore. There's this solidarity party, which is an opposition party. And you see the definition is very clear. Okay, we are talking about this one, which you are right. So after your lesson that day, I was like confused. 不对嘞，我好像讲错东西嘞。我记得你写这个 ，I go and 想这个。Okay.
I sent the question already.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Can be.
Why was it? Is this Berlin? What is this questions on page 125 about the Poland one?
I don't know.
It is. Okay. Is it's the end of Cold War, right? This question. Yes. I think when Soviet controlled the Eastern. You see, I missed out this question. Thank you. Describe the method of the control exercise the Soviet Union over Hungary and the 56 times was. Yes, correct, confirm. Okay, so for Yichen and Rayton, seriously, I think your this history teacher is considered very good. Okay, that was also many years ago. I don't cover this in my class because this is still the very small portion of it, and so far I never seen this question come up. Seriously, I have not seen this question come. So you see, now this is the one. Take note now. Yichen, Xingchen, Rayton, and Hao Rui. This topic is a turning point. Listen, the end of Cold War. I'm not sure your teacher has explained to you. Since we are in this topic, it's quite different from the Hitler I'm covering. Thank you, Rayton. Really appreciate it. Okay, so understand the difference. Solidarity is about one person alone. 孤独的一个人 alone. Solidarity is an organization that take care of people and different class to make sure they are united. So, nationality, how did this solidarity fall to the fall? How these things make the communism fall? Now, this solidarity is actually someone that is against, communists, against anti-communists. So why? Look at this one here. I did a research already. Poland Solidarity Movement here and here. Okay. Don't worry, children. I already give you the link, Rayton. So I think you have enough information. You sure die can have over flooded with this, even though it was 6 months. But because of this question B, it really makes the difference why finally the Communist Party collapsed. Why the Communist Party cannot stronghold. Because of this page 125, you look at this person here. Yeah, I used to teach this. I remember the picture below. Lech Walesa. Okay, Lech Walesa is actually was the president. He went through against communism. Can we smoke? Cannot see. This guy. Okay, you all can see. This is the guy here. Okay, Yichen, Xingchen, and Hao Rui. Your set 4 textbook, just in case they mention. Okay. It took me 3 days to do this research. So please see don't think for the set 4 student. You see the way I underline this. Okay. This tells you that this is a party that they cannot accept communism rule and they decide to change of government. They want to use the word, can I use the word overthrow the communism? But of course, at that time, the leaders of the Russians, okay, did not want to do that. He wanted to hold it. And then later, the Glasnost and Perestroika, right? Yichen, you know that? Have you learned this, Yichen? Yeah. How about Ray Chen? Have you heard of this? Glasnost and Perestroika?
No,
Huh? Haven't?
haven't yet.
Oh, okay. The Perestroika by Gorbachev is to change the policy of being economic. The Glasnost is the policy to give
Oh no, I
freedom.
heard about the Glasnost one.
Okay, so this is the two things that the Gorbachev want to change the communists, but end up it backfired the whole process of communism. So there's this question asked for these two, the P and the G. Just the G is Glasnost, the P is Perestroika. So okay, we don't delve this one. So I just want to clear the air. I was wrong of the interpretation for this A and B. So we are talking about B. Okay. And anyway, if you Google it, you put these two together. And then there's this Google and say sometimes people confuse. Okay, so I'm one of them. I apologize. So you don't need to read the whole thing, but I just want you to see the one I underlined in red. Okay, to tell you what happened. They say is that and delegitimize the communist regime by exposing its ideological but false claim of what this is. Okay, this is what the Poland. Okay, later the Hungarians, that one, yes, Hungary is another one who against the communists. The Poland is a Warsaw Pact. You have to understand this. Okay. So was there a link there? I remember I give a link. Oh my goodness. I have a link for that. I don't know where is it. Okay, but anyway, today just to share with you this one. I have a download one. Okay, Ray Chen, understand already? Okay,
Understood.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So it's my fault. I don't want you to hand in the homework, then give you a wrong impression. Wow, not fair to you. Totally not fair. Say, I'm a human. I admit I made the mistake. I admit it, and I rectified it immediately to tell you it was my fault. I misinterpret the questions, and I did run down. Okay. Okay. This one is important. I'd like to share with you. Okay, the last one before we go to the lesson proper, sorry. What do you see? You see this one boy? Wait a minute. Okay, this one, if you want, I can put in the Google Classroom for you. Yeah, there, you see? There? You saw the June? This one? See? How my mouse? You see? Thank you. Then I also I also see Poland, this one. You can actually copy the whole answer from here. This is an old textbook. Remember last week I showed you the defeat of Germany, a lot of pages. This is one of the books. See, I don't worry. Behind my cupboard, there are so many books. Anytime I just fish out one and go through. So why is it 6 points? But I think that your teacher is very good. This is actually a kickoff that I will just put in Google Classroom. Then you for each time I must read out. Okay, but unlikely will come out in the exam. Okay, my gut feel. But it's good to know that this is the things that change. You see, as a result, the government choose to renegotiate with this party and others. You see, so 他们已经 cannot take it anymore. So once you start to negotiate, means you are giving way. Okay, it's just like sometimes your father say no, cannot. No, it's just like after your O level, you say, Daddy, I want to do this and work this and have this. No, cannot. Very firm. But later, after you see you so quiet, good boy, then your father give in. Okay, come, let's talk. But give and take. This is what it means here. Okay. Can Wei Chan?
Can.
Thank you so much. Please, not just Wei Chan or anybody who has some homework want to share and you are not sure, please. Okay, thanks to Wei Chan, you see. It correct my mistake. Okay, I admit my mistake. Okay, now go back to the. Okay, where's my lesson plan? Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Wait, maybe after that questions, when you do it, maybe you can send that question alone, and put in Google Classroom. Let me read. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. I see how.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's go through this. Okay. I have a few pictures to show you, to give you an overall how the Germany's defeat, how the Germany start war. Now, first we have, I think this is just a recap. you can see this, and now you know, right? And recently I just watched Facebook. They talk about the Switzerland is being a neutralized country. Why Switzerland didn't want to go for war against Germany, so on and so forth. Not interested in the World War I and II. Okay, right. So here you are. So you know this is a year. So this one very good. I think it's in your Google Classroom slide already. So I got it from the Google website. So you see Italy 1982. You see sometimes it's good. You see Uncle Raymond like to use this chart. They call the Venn diagram, right? You see a Venn diagram in math? Xing Chen, is it a Venn diagram or how rate? Okay. Don't know. Okay. So I continue. Okay. So you can see that in this 1915, it switched and joined the Triple Entente Allies. So at first, these three countries was together. So 1984, 1907. So these are the years they are together. Then this one also joined, but they never put the year. Then this one, Italy, Austria, Hungary, and Germany. Okay, good friend. Until today, you see. Until today, you realize in F1, usually the Italy and the German car. Okay, and maybe once a while you can see some car from Japan, the Japanese car, or even the US, I don't see. Then the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so next one, you see, I like this one. Okay, you see, if you sometimes you study until it's so blur with so many what do you call information cook up in your brain. Don't worry, do it in this way. Okay, a quick one. Can Howry help me to read? Then I explain. Okay, Howry, can you read this one first? World War I.
World War I, Allied Italy, Germany's partners, Bulgaria, Austria-Hungary, Turkey. 14 million deaths.
Do you think, Howry, since you read this, do you think this information is good enough? Let's say you want to study for this exam, the coming exam. Do you think it's enough?
No.
No, that's why. Good. Okay, let's move on. Howry, this one. Number two here, number two. Because it's 1, 2, 3, number 2. Now World War II.
World War II, Germany's partners, Japan, Italy. 55 million deaths. World power shifts to USSR and USA. Greater impact on world politics.
You see, this Venn diagram is very good. But you see, you can compare the death rates. Okay, this is good. World power shift to US, very ambiguous, very vague. So what does this mean here? Then you say greater impact on world politics. What kind of world politics are we talking about? Okay, number 3, Howry.
Allies, Britain, France, USA, Russia. Adversary, Germany. Defeated Germany.
So what? Is this a point form? Is telling me, okay, after these two wars, this one is actually during World War I and during World War II, these are always together. During World War I and during World War II, Germany's are always in between this power struggle. During World War I and during World War II, Germany also defeated both wars. Defeated in both wars. Agree? World War I defeated, that's why I got Treaty of Versailles. World War II defeated, Hitler died, commit suicide. So yes, this is how I interpret like that. Get it now? Okay, Xing Chen, are you there? Show me your thumbs up. 对吗，Xing Chen? Thank you. Okay, 你那个 background diagram 是很美，可是我没有看到你的手。Okay, never mind. All right, so you can use the emoji, anyone. So you see, I don't know. Ray Chen, will you use this to study for your exam?
Maybe.
Good now. Tell me.
Or
Do you think should have some improvement here?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. I think definitely must have improvement. Ethan, will you use this for your exam? I mean to study for your exam, sorry, not exam, sorry. You cannot use this in your exam. Prepare for your exam. Will you use this Venn diagram, Ethan?
Maybe.
So maybe means 哪一个部分你会用，哪一个部分你不会用。I got my reason to ask the two of you. It's not, I'm not interested to ask Xing Chen or Howry. Wait.
I I don't know how to answer the question.
不用，顺其自然, just be natural yourself. Say, hey uncle, I think I will use maybe the greater impact on world politics. Why? Because of Germany finally got East Berlin and West Berlin, and East Germany and West Germany. Then I won't want to use the 4 million death of 55, but I think I will use defeated Germany in the center, this one, because it clearly shows that both wars they defeated. So it's good for me to know that both wars, Germany has, no matter how strong they are, how good in their technology, but because they are not capable enough to maintain a very strong hold in a long relationship. Whereas I find that the allies powers in the centers really help to make the difference. 就是这样讲话. Okay, use this diagram to talk like that, improve beside your orator skills, but at the same time, when you do this, you're putting your presentation skill. You see, guys, I can tell you today you can learn very well. The moment when you go to exam hall, I think sometimes you might freak out, you don't know. So this is the time you have to start drawing diagram like that and put it in the top scene. Then you say, uncle, die now. Why I put the wrong side? Then that one really cannot help you. Then you have to use your in-thinking skill. Hey, how should I put this? Now you should know, from now, we don't count. Next week is the last lesson for June, which is 6 months. We are looking forward for the next 3 months. So you must have all, I have to come up all kinds of methods to make sure you all score well. Okay, I cannot promise A1. I only can say to help you to score better and score well and memorize better. That's all I can do. I cannot promise like other tuition, wow, they score A1. No. I don't like to do this kind of promises. Okay. All right, so this is another one. What about this? That's why the reason I asked you, Xingchen, tell me, you prefer this or prefer this? Hurry. Since Hurry, you are the one reading this. Okay, Hurry, what do you think about this one? Ayo. No. Hurry, not you. You, not you. One of my students just WhatsApp me that he have to go for a lung operation. And cannot play sport anymore. Just a Sec2 boy. Okay, so sorry, Hurry. Will you use this or that one?
Both.
Both, well done. Xingchen,
Second.
Of course, I totally agree. Hurry. First one is just the typics 甜品一餐你懂像我们去吃 wedding dinner 还是吃那个新年的 dinner 那个是甜品 This is just only the starting, the first dish they call it what? 冷盘Okay, dish one. This is the one. Okay, Xingchen, can you read that? Uncle Raymond is not colorblind. Just kidding. Can you read the World War One, please? Yes, Xingchen. The 红色的
Nationalism, militarism, imperialism, secret alliances, industrialization, German U-boats sink Lusitania, Allies versus Central Powers, machine guns, mustard gas, trench warfare, propaganda, Treaty of Versailles, League of Nations, appeasement.
Yes. Okay. So this is World War One. Okay. Thank you. Okay. It's Xingchen. Why not do this part for me, please? The blue color World War Two.
Isolationism.
For who?
Failed.
Isolationism is for who?
USA.
Correct, lor. How come you never put USA here? Agree. Okay, carry on.
Fail. Treaty of Versailles. Fail. League of Nations. German economic crisis.
Sorry, when you put German economic crisis, what kind of crisis is that? Xingchen?
Inflation.
Inflation Not really there. Hyperinflations and what? Unemployment, correct? And then the greed what? Greed what?
Great Depression.
Ah, yes. Here, come
Oh.
this one. Huh? No?
Oh, question.
Yes.
What's the
It's a-
difference between inflation and hyperinflation?
Inflation 就是 OK， 我跟你讲啊I'm only use an example, hold on. OK， 我们用汉堡包好吗 ？OK A&W A&W my favorite Actually I don't like fish burger A&W burger. Last time when I was at age it was about $2, $1 to $2. OK. Now A&W how much a burger? Have you eaten?
AW is what?
A&W 你没有去Jewel 吃过哈 A&W my favorite now root beer float. Okay, root beer float. So now it's about $4 or $5. This is called inflation. They increase up the money. Hyperinflation.
So it's like things get more expensive. Then hyperinflation is like money not worth anymore, right?
Yes, 好像记得你那个 set 1 set 2的时候，你学那个 Japanese banana money 吗？那个那个已经变成是 toilet paper 了，没有用了。You can 拿来擦屁股了。Supposed to set but you still can use lah. But that means you have to use one whole bloody stack of briefcase to buy one burger. Don't laugh. Some countries in present time have to do that. Set. Okay? Answer your question, sir?
But then if you hyperinflate, right? Doesn't it mean like things get more expensive also?
Not only that, people affordability cannot be there already. Okay? That means your currency, you buy things, people will not trust you. Your currency become 没有价值. That's why since you mentioned this, US has been telling China, like I think Singapore now, can you tell me, is it $1 is to $5 renminbi or 480?
It's 4 point something.
The last time I went to Beijing was very good. 1 is to 5. Oh, I love it. Then the second time I went to Beijing, 1 is to 4.7. Of course, not much different. So, of course, if your currency is bigger, things like that depends. That is not hyperinflation.
It's 4.82.
82 now. Okay. So what happened now? If China were to go to Singapore $1 to renminbi to $30, do you think it's good? Ethan.
Sorry?
Now you say 1 is to 4.82, right? So now what happened? Maybe touch wood. Next month is 1 Sing dollar to renminbi $30. Wait. Will you want to go China and buy property, buy this and buy things?
But then
will you trust the economy?
No, if let's say right if the money is not worth, right, then the prices of everything else would also increase.
Depends. You see, like Indonesia, as I'm doing a business with Indonesia, my boss. You see, the rupiah is like, I remember it's so high. I remember when I went to Vietnam, Sing dollars, I went to eat a family dinner. It cost me $2 million in Vietnam dong. 2 million dong. It's equivalent to Singapore $150 for a 6-person or 7-person. So how? Is it considered hyperinflation? It depends on the situation of the particular economy. When you have hyperinflation, it's really your economy is going to be very shaky, and it's at the time where not only your currency is no value, you start selling your property, your bonds to other people, and then you are excuse me, you are letting other countries to control you already. Okay, so like China, like that, the USA, you must make it to $1. Maybe I don't know what is $1 to China. How much? I don't know. How much? Anyone know? Anyone can tell me?
7 to 8, I think. $7
to $8. Okay. Now what happened if USA now I want you to change $1 is to $3?
Oh, sorry, it's 6.47.
Okay, now I ask you, now USA no, change to $3. Okay, as a businessman, how will you feel in US and in China? Of course, you will change to another place to do business because the currency is stronger, the exchange rate is. So you see, you are the US is like forcing China to reduce the exchange rate. I'm not so good on that, economics, though I did study my economics. Okay, But if you look at it in terms of the exchange rate, like Singapore and Malaysia, we don't talk far. Singapore is $1 is to now $2.80 or $3 of Malaysia. So you see a lot of Singaporeans like to go to Malaysia to buy things. Okay, but you see, Malaysia, the currency is like $10 is equivalent to Singapore $2.50 or $3. So as a Singaporean, definitely my currency is stronger. I will go buy a lot of things in Malaysia. But Malaysia come here, of course, no worth it. But if the Malaysian worker were to come to Singapore to work, they exchange the currency back to Malaysia. It's like if I earn Singapore $1,000, okay, as a waiter here, I can bring home $3,000. And then after that, I can buy a lot of things. But don't forget, there are things in Malaysia may be also quite expensive. So that's back to square one. That's why the currency things, you have to study the econs prospect, and if you are the POA student, you understand more. But this is so far I can explain to you. Once your currency is big and strong, like Singapore $1, you see, people are strong. So you know that the stability of a country is very important. If your currency is getting bigger and bigger, like those like North Korea, nobody want to go there. Or Indonesia isn't even how cheap like Vietnam. So you very hard to bring down the currency. So that's why take advantage, right? A lot of people like to go to this country, underdeveloped and developing countries because their manpower is cheap. So that because it's cheap, then I can, Levi's is in Cambodia. Okay, the Levi's jeans is Cambodia because the manpower is so dirt cheap. So it can bring down the cost. And then because of the inflation, so you not inflation, the currency is weak. So when they sell to Singapore, okay, a Levi's jean maybe cost $10 manpower in Cambodia, but when they sell to Singapore, it's $150. Then don't forget, you need to plus shipping costs, but manpower costs, labor costs, overhead costs, all these things. So I hope I clear the things for you, Ethan.
Okay, thank you.
So Bill, no problem. Because this one is exactly once you have a war, okay, the country that lost the war, good luck to you. They dictate already. They'll tell you what to do. But if the country won the war, he has the power, you see. So he can control, he can decide. Because, oh, by the way, any currency is tagged to a goal. So how much gold you have. Okay, the paper currency itself don't have really the intrinsic, the real value. So the currency, why Singapore is so strong, because you have to know what is the background of Singapore. Singapore is a small country, right? How come, why is so strong of the Singapore currency? There must be something behind to support things like that. It's just like, seriously, okay, you can see my wife trying to disturb me. Okay, you can see, I lost what I want to say. Seriously, I lost track. Really, I lost track what I'm saying. Sorry. What did I want to say, Ethan?
The part about gold, how gold is linked to the currency.
Yes, gold linked to currency. Okay. It's just like you all 20 plus want to buy a $5 million condo or $2 million condo. Xingchen, Hao Rui, Yichen, and Rui Chen. It's not I look down on you. You just started work. Definitely got not so much money, right? Yichen, 对不对? Of course, then how? Social study coming out. Your father will use the CPF money, the ordinary account, to help you to pay a bit here and there. 你明白吗? Then 你每次看到那些年轻人very young people young people in the on the road, wow, drive Ferrari这么年轻 drive Ferrari wow, drive Mercedes Okay, these are the car they are only rental maybe. You get me now? They maybe borrow from their father, or maybe their father give them money to buy the first installment, things like that. So this is something related to what you're saying, the currency. So you see why some country, their currency are very weak, but their economy are still strong. Singapore took 50 years to build up. At that time, Malaysia currency and Singapore currency are the same. But now Singapore currency and Brunei currency are the same. Very funny. It's such a big country like Malaysia. They are supposed to be stronger than Singapore. They got more resources. How come? So this is where later you study in econ, in JC or in Poly, then they'll tell you, okay, they tag along about how many gold bar, how many kind of economy, the gross domestic product, how the people earn income, how much they pay taxes to the government, how much the government contribute to the corporate tax. This is where it comes in. This is also related to here. Okay, thank you. Xing Chan, can Yi-Chan, I hope I answer your question. Good question. Thank you. Xing Chan. Number 6. The World War II here. Yeah, my mouse here.
Wait, who are you talking to?
Xing Chan. Yeah, Xing Chan. Xing Chan, are you ready? Number 6. Help me to complete it. Number 6, the World War II. I can't hear you, sorry, Xing Chan. Okay, Xing Chan got some problem with your mic? Cannot. Okay, now cannot. Yeah, I ask someone to read. Cannot hear you, seriously. My problem. Okay, Ray Chen, help me, please. Number 6, please.
German U-boats and
No, here. This one, the blue
the
color.
other one. Oh,
Yeah.
Allies and X versus Axis. Am I supposed to like?
Okay,
Or continue reading on?
Yeah. Number 7.
How many the first word?
Roaring 20s.
To Great Depression.
Yes.
Japan's attack Pearl Harbor. Holocaust. Japan's internment camps. I don't know.
Blitzkrieg Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Blitzkrieg, remember, is the attack very fast one.
The German attack.
Yeah,
And the last
Kamikaze.
one is the Red Scare Cold War.
Yeah. Okay, you realize you see. So sometimes history is not difficult to learn. You just put this one and then you put it inside, then you start, you see. Then what is the similarity here? US got in to block of U-boats. Yeah. This U-boat is a submarine. And then nationalism and imperialism. Same lah. This one is where they start, because this is your imperialism. Imperialism means the Guo Wang, the king. They get rid of the king already. Now this one no more. In fact, there are also imperialism in World War II, to be honest, which is the Japan Imperial Army. And the British also got the Queen, which is true. Militarism, alliance, propaganda. You realize every damn thing also got propaganda. So the propaganda cannot escape. Then you see this one here. Look here. Wow. You see? I'm teaching you guys because I find it when I was doing research, thanks to Ray Chen about the solidarity things. Then I start, I think better share with my students. And then I have some of the notes. I then put it here since this is a half year already. It's good for the Sec 3 and 4 and for my future students also to know all these things. So you see, sad to say, right? You see why I say sad to say, because they only talk about Japan invades Manchuria. Then after that, this one Japan takes over much of Eastern China. Then no more already. So what does the 1931 and 1937 tells me about just Japan take Manchuria? Big deal. Well, how can it lead to World War II? Okay, then Germany take this one, and then Italian take this one, so and so on. Okay, this is the time when you start the World War II. But why does these two events, 1931 and 37, why China is not involved in your textbook? I always like to ask this question to the historian, whoever prepares history for Sec 3 and 4. Why China is not involved in this war? Agree or not, Yi-Chen? No?
Agree.
Then you next time, in case don't laugh, don't say anything that sounds stupid. Yi-Chen, Ray-Chen, Xing-Chen, how Ray? You won't be surprised. After 30 years later, you are daddy. Your son decided to say, Daddy, I want to take history. Okay. Then do. Then suddenly, that time, they'll come in Manchuria, China. Then your son asks you, Daddy, why Japan attacked China? You honestly tell me how you're going to answer to your son. 我中学没有读这个. Then your son will look at you, How come? Okay, this is a very important turning point. because when Japan attacked China, Manchuria, he started to have a very greedy heart that he knows that China is weak, very weak. They can control because of the opium and things like that. And that's where they start. They already have this very aggressive move. And they start phase that he 兵分两路. One is to attack China, the other one is attack the Pearl Harbor to Southeast Asia. Okay, but you see, it's like these Chinese things called 人不足蛇吞象. Elephant, sorry, a snake want to eat an elephant. Damn stupid, right? Okay, you please go and wake up lah. How do you attack a China like that? Okay, it's just like now people want to say, why asking the Russian, why you only got one aircraft carrier? China going to have 4 aircraft carrier. You're not scared of China. So what Putin was saying that, why should I scare China? We have a good cooperation with China. I think the only country scared is now Japan. Okay, this is the one, you can copy this one down here. Okay, I put into the Google, no, not Google, the chat group. Then you go and go and search. Okay, this is for you to read. So this is a very good one. You can do it this way. I suggest children, I suggest that this so-called, I call the climb model. Okay, instead of 31 on top, the 39 below, why not you put 30? Why not you put 19, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, all the way up to escalate the war? And then when you come to 1944, you go down. Then you go out again, the Cold War. Okay, so that you know. But please don't put too many things inside. Put the most significant event at that particular year. At least the maximum 2 to 3 significant events of that year, because that possibility to come out in your SEQ very high sometimes. Okay, so take note. Now next, this is an overview. You see, you can do this way. You can put this policy of appeasement, weakness of LN, Hitler expansionary policy. This is outbreak of World War II. You see, these are the factors. These are the 3 factors. So you don't need to study until so detailed or must memorize, like Uncle Raymond last time used to memorize every single line. I study hard but not study smart. Okay, so I really like regurgitate, 背到滚瓜烂熟 that kind of things. Yeah, my generation can, but now it's a bit different. Got too many information, over flooded. So don't. So please use pictures to dissect, to segmentize your thinking. If not, you're gonna hate history. Okay, so Xingchen, okay, never mind. Xingchen cannot. How do you like this one? This one must ask the set 3 now. Do you like this type of way of studying?
Yes.
Okay, from these 3 points, which one will you choose the reason of an outbreak of war in Europe? Xingchen can talk. Xingchen. Xingchen讲错。Xingchen can talk. Okay. Okay, say hi to me. Xingchen.
Hi.
Okay, good. Hooray. Which one will you choose? Hooray. Later I ask you, Xingchen. Which one will you choose for the outbreak of World War II in Europe?
Policy of appeasement.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay, never mind. Thank you. Xingchen,
Can you repeat the question?
Wait, Raychen, 等一下。Xingchen, which point would you choose for the outbreak of World War II in Europe? Policy of appeasement, weakness of LN, or Hitler expansionist foreign policy?
Expansionist.
Okay, thank you. Raychen,
Policy appeasement.
Okay. Ethan,
Policy of appeasement.
Yeah, which one you might change policy of appeasement? I will choose Hitler. Okay.
Because
policy,
I feel like easier
yes,
to write.
yes. Okay. Because you're very, very honest. Yes, it's true. Sorry, it's not your fault. It's the worst reason to cause World War II, because it's really you're slapping the British of this appeasement. True. Okay. I choose Hitler expansionist policy is very simple. he already set his mind already. You see, first, he really find the loophole of League of Nations, LON. Then the policy of placement is just like buy times. He already he's already preparing for a big attack already. He already prepared his 4 years plans, that kind of stuff. So he's kind of ready. Nothing will stop him. He already rose from a corporal to a chancellor, a Führer. He has already set his mind very straightforward. I am going to expand Germany. I don't give a damn whether it's League of Nations or policy of placement or Great Depression or whatever it is. This is just one of my very good reasons for me to expand. This is one of the few reasons that is give me a good, not just reason, an excuse to expand. This is what I feel. Okay, so I leave it to you. This is how I explain. Sorry, explain. Why? You see, from here, you have to talk out. My advice is when you talk, oh, I find this point, you write down. Then you can remember better. Okay, let's move on and look at this one. I like this one. Cool, huh? Okay, then you realize you see, oh, Ethan, got China leh. When I see this picture, I quickly take down. Richard, did your teacher ask you that? Why am I talking? Did your teacher tell you that France and China was also allies in World War II? Richard.
No.
现在你看到了哦 You saw it sorry. I can't hear you.
I saw it.
Yeah. Then are you surprised? That sounds like SPQ credit. Are you surprised that France and China was allies? Yes, surprised. Ethan, surprised?
No.
Why not surprised?
No,
Why not surprised?
because they have common enemy.
Like
Yes, wait.
China was like communist and like not thinking a part of like Italy or Japan. So it's like, and then Japan is invading China. So
Exactly. Correct, exactly. You are damn bloody right. Because of this one here. Now you get it now, Rayton. Well done. How come then you don't put China and France? France was taken by Hitler in 1940. Even the Hitler walked on in Paris to show off. He captured France. The China Nanjing 大屠杀, okay, and then a lot of cases in China, even movies and things. How come this two was not inside? I only talk about the USSR, USA, and United Kingdom, because France at that time was already captured, so it's not really can give more power. China internally, is already having so-called their own fighting there. They handle so sad. Just give you a head start. I think some of you, if you study the China history, you know. Actually, China, the arsenal, the weapons were also supported by USA. At the other end of China, the other side of China, the western part of China. So they supply a lot of manpower, machines, materials, and all this and food to this Kuomintang and mostly are Kuomintang. Okay, not the communists Mao Zedong, but they fight arms to arm, brothers to brother with Kuomintang and Gongcantang, or the KMT and the communists together to fight the common enemies of Japan. Well done. But after the war, World War II, the two brothers fight, and that's why there's a split, and then Taiwan. And these are all not mentioned in the history, which is not right. In my opinion, as a history student and teacher, it's definitely not right. Don't go and tell me because you're Sec 3 and 4, just understand this. Okay, this part you have to understand. I keep emphasizing it. Okay, China played a very vital role during World War II. Okay, if it's not China doing that kind of guerrilla fighting, hit and run and disable a lot of Japanese things and sabotage, I don't think Japan can easily defeated. And because most of the soldiers, as they know that their soldiers in China are being attacked, they start to sending a lot of intelligence. The Japanese a lot of soldiers to suppress the attack in China. Okay, this was not mentioned in your history. And having said that, then they neglected the other fighting area in the Southeast Asia and also the Okinawa, the side, Iwo Jima, and also the Guam Islands and the Pacific in the Philippines. So you see, this is, and the Philippines, the worst thing is the island hopping, because Philippines got over 1,000 islands. And General MacArthur also want to come back and attack back, because he was very shameful and embarrassed that he has to force to leave his people and fly back. And all his soldiers say, please, sir, you need to move out of Philippines. And General MacArthur don't want to leave his men. This is a man of really guts. I really respect General MacArthur. Not like this general persevere in Singapore. When all the soldiers he go and left, and then of course finally he got captured by he surrendered some more. He surrendered to the Japanese. Well, General MacArthur want to stay on and fight with his own people, but he said not worth it. Go. And he said a very, very famous verse, I will be back. And when he came back, he came with a very strong vengeance and really attacked in Manila. This one also not talk about in your textbook, just to share with you. So China really played an important part to disable, dismantle, and disarm a lot of Japanese. So that's why the war are quite successful later on the part. So the sacrifice that China has made is very great deal to me. Okay, so just to share with you. Okay, now this one, you can use this infographic, okay, and plug in whatever you want to have inside here. Okay, just to show you a bit difference. So what is the similarity here that these three countries have for inside this core? What do they have shared common? And of course, you want to put Axis power, fine. This is their Axis power here. But the common thing is that they want to get rid of the what? The Western power, not German, the Western power, which is the 3U, the Allied power. Okay, so this is something common. And what's the common between Germany and Italy? They share the same thing called fascism and Nazism. Okay, fascism and Nazism. And what's the common between Germany and Japan? They share the same thing called the Kampfpartei and the SS. You know SS, right? Since SS, the German SS and the Kampfpartei. These two can share. So you see, what comes to your mind, just plug in and put it in. But make sure, gentlemen, whatever you put it inside must be 100% correct. You cannot say, I think German and Italy share same car called Ferrari. Look at my face now. Look at my face. Oh no, please. Don't know. You all will be laughing. Don't. This is your O-level exam. Don't play a fool, please. Can you imagine this is like you are a doctor. All the doctors say, hey, Professor Ye, Professor Xing Chen, Professor Hao Rui, Professor Yi Chen, Professor Wei Chen, should we operate? So you look at the Venn diagram, but this patient, this is one. So imagine you have to do blood transfusion, leukemia or bone marrow transplant. Then you have to look at the pictures on what should I do? Should I do this one or this one? Then the junior say, Prof, I think you should do this one. Then you have to question your student, your junior doctor. How come not this one here? This one isn't it better? Because they have everything. So the risk, yes, by taking this, okay, you have a better chances. But do you want to take your chances, or you want to take this one even though it's a smaller scale than this one? Then your junior staff asks you, Prof, why take this one? Because looking at this age, imagine this is a 5-year-old boy who want to do bone transplant. So I think that you need 100%, then a bigger chance of this one might be only 60%. See? So this is a way, and this is an example I can give you out of immediate one. Look at this one. Wow, this is it. Is it the same as this one just now? Oh, it's a. Do you see? 一晨，你看到吗？他们的 common factor 是什么？是不是全部都退出，不要 join LON？
refuse to follow.
So you can take away. I can say the three of them refuse to what? To surrender to the Allied power. Also can, nothing wrong. Then you see this little person, not little person. Why am I talking this little person? Sorry. This fella called Moody. I don't know what his actual name or not. Banco. How come he never fill in this one and this one? He done a good job for this. Okay. The rest, while I can't see your camera. I hope Hao Rui, Rui Chen, Yi Chen, and Xing Chen, you're reading this. You see, you're reading all these things. While I'm still explaining, can we do multitasking together? It's gonna. How come you fill in? 不对嘞。Sure got something common, right, Rachel? You want to say something? See? 没有东西嘞。哦。But it's a good start for this boy. I hope I don't get it wrong. You see? Your teacher never used this. So now I'm helping you to use this to study. Okay, I will come up more ways along the way. Sometimes I in the toilet, I suddenly think of new ideas. I quickly start my computer and I start throwing things like that. Okay, this is called passion. Like what you do. Okay, this is called passion, that you want to give the best to your student. Like a doctor. I think recently you saw the American Got Talent, got this lady 2% chance to survive cancer. And say, why should I cry over it? Even it's a 1% chance, it's still a percentage chance. Okay, so Ethan, don't always say, I don't think I can go Raffles for DSA. Don't. You never know. No? Sometimes God or something got miracle for you, you work one. If you down so young, Ethan, you're so young, you start to have negative and pessimistic. You know it's pessimistic, right, Ethan? Pessimistic 就是 all the negative then 做人没有意思不要这样Okay, I think the past you have been living quite a lot of pessimistic time to change to optimistic lah. Please, you are getting older. Then next time 你是一家之主怎么办 ？Daddy 怎么办 ？Daddy 一直讲不行I think cannot. I think your son will get fed up. Don't ask father lah, ask mommy better lah. Every time also cannot. 先啦 Correct. Must be confident. Okay, history is to build you confidence. Okay, so I'm quite disappointed for this part here, but I just want to share with you. Just nice, You should put there, Japan and Italy, what do they have in common here? In fact, they are both also a dictator. But the dictator is different in what way? Then Germany and Italy, you can say that Germany and Italy are very good friendship because remember, when Mussolini was captured, Germans sent a very strong forces to rescue him. That's a stupid mistake. No, cannot say stupid, sorry. That is the biggest mistake. I'm so sorry. That's the biggest mistake. 他很重视感情very supportive of brotherhood. Nothing wrong. But end up, his people not happy with Hitler. Anyone want to say anything, Rachel? Yes, Rachel, anything?
First mistake was to start a war with Russia.
Which one?
Like Germany starting a war with Russia.
This part here, right? No. This part here. You're right. Yes. Thank you. It's true. Germany started the war with Russia. Japan also started war with Russia. Well done. I didn't think of that, man. Very good. Yeah. Are you saying here? Or just accidentally was correct? You're right, no? It's true. They have the common objective. Both of them attack Russia. You're right. You're absolutely right. 对吗? Germany attacked Russia, the break off the German Sino-Russia pact, right? Then Japan also attacked in Russia. True. Rayson, you want to say anything? No, sorry, did I interrupt your train of thoughts? Maybe you want to say something? Rayson? Yes, Rayson. Yes, you can. Yeah, what you want to say something? You raise your hand. Can you put down your hand? Because you raise your hand. Okay, I just move on. Look at this one. They do in this way. You see? Hitler early years and rearmaments and okay, maybe too small, I make it bigger. Okay, and then Hitler's and the origins of World War II, the invasion of Poland and the fall of France, the Battle of Britain, strategic bombing, North Africa campaign, D-Day, the Battle of Midway, Pearl Harbor, the Holocaust, Operation Barbarossa, bibliography, why the Allies won, the use of atomic bomb. Actually, I can put one little arrow up here, one little line here to put there Hiroshima, and then one here Nagasaki. Okay, D-Day, the Normandy Beach, okay, and then Omaha, okay, and then where? France, or something like that. And look at this one. You realize, I like to use all this Venn diagram. You see, communism, fascism, Nazism. Oh, Xingzhen, good now. Can use this. Easier to study, Xingzhen. No? Then they put the definition here. Then of course you can put something else. Maybe now, the four gentlemen, maybe you can use this to hand in your homework. If you don't feel like writing in essay point. But at least when you write this something like that, is to showcase that you understand what you have learned. Then Uncle Raymond will know, oh, hey, hello, excuse me, you put this one wrongly, it's supposed to be here. Hey, hello, this one is supposed to be here. This one correct, but maybe you can add some more, then I know. Because if you every time listen to my lesson, not giving me the sufficient homework, I don't know whether you know, and then I don't know the time management, okay? Please inform your parents, starting hopefully after 15th of July, okay? I may have to meet you, or mostly Set 4 students, get ready, okay? You might go to my grassroots club for an exam in the restaurant, okay? Rui Chen, where may I ask where you stay? Rui Chen, may I know where you stay? Which part? Don't need to tell me exactly which part. East, west, north, south. East, you stay in east, right? No?
East side.
East side. So how rate? Which part of Singapore is staying? How rate? Oh, Yishun, okay. So very
East.
near lah. How rate also east,
Yes.
Okay, not so far lah. Okay, the grassroots club is you go and Google it, is under at Yio Chu Kang MRT station. So Rui Chen, if you are staying in Yishun, the most 2 to 3 stop to Yio Chu Kang. Okay, so not so bad. So I hope to see you in the grassroots club. Okay, so you see a policeman. You look at a policeman. Wow, very good. You see, all these can later on. I think you have it already. Right, Ethan. You received this note.
I think so.
You don't know, no. Cannot think one. Must confirm.
Later I go check.
You don't have, let me know. I because every time before I start my class, my colleague will ask me for this lesson plan. So I will send this lesson plan in PDF format to her, and they are supposed to send it to you before the start of the lesson. Okay? But don't worry, still there. Okay. Yi Chen raised her hand. I don't know why you raised it. I can't put my hand down. Oh, okay. You, Rui Chen. I don't know. You can have to go to your emoji to lower your hand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so this is one way. Don't worry, Rui Chen. Carry on. Raise your hand. Just like I can't move my screen. So this is the way of appeasement. Hold strong Germany did not want to repeat a war. Appeasement. Did not want a repeat of World War I. Sorry, this appeasement feel. Concerned about own problems. What kind of own problems? Write down if you want the 5M, the manpower, the money, the machines, materials, and the management, the leadership quality. Remember, change hand. And after this, the Prime Minister of Britain, the President of the United States, and then the Wilma government, all these things. You see, by doing like that, you talk. I can link. This one can bring. So every day, it's like 不是做一天和尚敲一天钟来，对吗？以前我用的没错。It's like you keep repeating like a broken record. You are there. Okay. Oh, I like this one. You see, you put the MAIN, militarism, secret alliances, nationalism, long-term causes, assassination. You see, sorry, one of my police officer want to come to my house to give me something. In case he come out, he just give me a minute. Can you all take a look at this one? Raiden, where is your Gio? Don't come out, my friends. Okay. Oh, now you see this triple entente, use of master. Okay, just now remember this one, the master gas, can't see clearly. Okay, and then you see the treaty, you see? Ethan, good now, this one. More detail now. And then we see you got turning point, the battle of Stalingrad. Then you see USA dropped to an atomic bomb. Then can you find Hiroshima and Nagasaki? And still no good, like you still have to say 6th of August and 9th of August, like, to be more specific. You see, number of deaths. You put the figure. See? Oh, very good, huh? Okay, this is the last slide to show you the commons to both conflicts. You see, I like that. You see, common to both conflicts. President Franklin Roosevelt. You tell you, see, they even put all the name of the president. The genocide Holocaust result in over death of 6 million Jews. You see here, the turning point is US entry to World War I. And then here it is. Okay, give a minute. My officer is here. You can read something on that. Hold on. You can read this one. Okay. Give me a minute. I go and take something from him. Okay, sorry guys. You pass me something because I'm doing duty tomorrow for my police duty. Okay, so explain why American involvement in World War II led to German defeats. Now, while I will wait, I believe you have read something, right? Okay, just a quick one. Xingchen, do you agree that the Americans played a vital role of the Germany defeat? Yes or no? Xingchen. Yes, okay, thank you. But I haven't asked you, this is so Germany was defeated due to American, then you must say why, Yes, okay, fair. Hold on. Ethan, you agree? Yes, also. Okay. Ray Chen also agree, thank you. How Ray?
Yes.
Yeah, you realize that, thank you. I also agree that the US play a very vital and very significant and very crucial role for the defeat of Germany. So because of that, can you imagine when World War I was not there? Okay, so what happened? I just share with you. Because of World War I, USA hesitated, don't want to involve because it's none of my business. At that isolation policy, wait. Until when they realized that the situation, confusing, cannot. My brother also get attacked, and then because of this, the economy affected my people. My people travel around, I also get sabotaged. Even though I'm not involved in the war, I also cannot attack. Cannot. I start to move. So because of the World War II, that war of theater, that scenario, that arena, US after these incidents need to involve before they can spark off any war. They will start to move in. Now, people say that he's like a global policeman, which is not wrong. He's also want to have peace and prosperity and progress for all countries. But during that side, they want to protect their own interests of their own citizens, which is also not wrong. That's why you see some president US, they are more favorable of foreign policy to attack. Some president, very conservative, don't attack. None of my business. I just wait and see. So it all depends on the intelligence, remember, to help them to decide whether to attack or not to attack. So next month, we are doing Cuba Missile Crisis. I help one of the group of Sec4 to decide whether you are a good president of the United States, whether to wage war with the Castro, and you know Cuba Missile Crisis, yeah, for the Sec4 students, you know, or whether to wait and see attitude, or whether should you negotiate with the Russian people. This is where it's similar to in real life. Okay, when you're doing a business, or whether you're a lawyer, should you bring out an evidence to the judge to present the case to ensure that your client is free from anything? Well done, huh? Okay. So I don't want to read through this. It's inside your Google Classroom, okay? But my advice is, if you can, if you think that writing this is too long for you, please at least write a few sentences to tell me, or even draw a diagram like that, something like that. I will be very happy, so that I know that learning has taken place. So this is an 8 months question. Wow, look at the, oh my goodness. Can I just, I'm here. Okay, I'll mute my mic just in case. Germany defeat. So you all agree, American play a very important role, okay, because they have the best technology. In fact, now also one of the largest military powers in the world. Okay, so please read. Germany defeat in World War II was due to its weakness. How far do you agree with this statement? Is it because of petroleum or these things? Later I share with you how. Sorry, I forget to mute. Okay, so hopefully, I hope you all can skip reading, because I want to show you the slide how Germany was being defeated. Because I don't want to carry up to the next lesson. Okay, we got about a couple of minutes to go. So while you're reading this, later when I show you the slide, it kind of coincide and give you a better idea. Okay, so you can remember better. This one you can see, he also he spread his wing too large. See, North Africa and Europe, and then Russia. Okay, come on. We are talking about production of human life. Okay, you're spreading your human life. You know, you go to war, you sure got few things. Death, Okay, can I do this? Kill in action, missing in action, capture in action, injury in actions, which is permanent, cannot fight, injury in actions, or deserted in action. Deserted means 逃兵. There are so 5 categories of people. This is not taught in your history, but this is taught in your army, which I went through in NS. So as a deserter, 就是逃兵. Depends on what you think you think it's worth it to fight for this leader or not. It's just like, do you think it's worth to continue to work in this company and fight for this boss or look for another boss? 另谋高就. So a lot of Germans finally deserted and run because they find it's not worth it. So maybe after many years, miss home, I find that there's no end to this. The general also give out. Why should I continue to fight for Hitler? Talk so much, end up he's the one not a worthwhile leader to follow. So this is where also part and the reason of the defeat of a German. It's the same to a company. Okay, while you're reading it, it's the same to a company when you find the boss do not take care of the staff, okay, and tell the staff, say, I've got no money, I got no money to give you extra salary, no increment, I need to retrench. Then later, next few days, you see him driving a Mercedes 500. Then later you saw him wearing a Rolex gold watch, okay, and diamond ring. Wow, then you see his shoe is Louis Vuitton. Then you realize you heard over the phone he's buying another second and third condominium penthouse. 哇，鸡蛋糕，你跟我讲你没有钱，你还买这东西。Then you know that he's not a worthwhile leader to follow. It's a similar concept like in history journal. Okay, so I move a bit fast. This one you see, this is the last one you see. You can do this way. It's so small, I'm so sorry. Make it bigger. Can see, bigger can see already. 200%. You see. You can do this. Make history more lively and important. And these notes when you prepare, gentlemen, you never know, no? Okay? When I use my own notes, history will never change the course one. 30 years, 20 years later, 星辰，你的儿子、你的女儿可能会读 history。OK？ 星辰，你孩子不要读 history 逼他读。你跟他讲，你老爸也是读 history, you better study history. 一晨 correct 一晨 in case your son say, don't want, daddy, I want geography. No, history. They say, why? Then you take your whole notes, give it to him. This is what I study. 哎呀，我的妈。Then you say, these notes, confirm get A1 one. So you don't worry. Then your son will say, okay, give me. I will study. Which is true. Because he see you very successful in life, 对吗，一晨？How can you love you？ 对不对 ？Unless 你跟我讲，儿子，什么事 ？Daddy 后面有很多枪，你拿去用。以为你是无间道黑社会。No, it's true They always say like father, like son， 当然是有原因的。Okay, so okay, I hope I want to go through that few minutes with you all in a very meaningful German debates. Let me give me a few a minute now to prepare my bring my PDF to the other large screen first. Then, oops, not moving. Okay, moving. Yes. Then I will stop sharing this one. Then I will go into share. No, not this one. So stop. Then I will go to share. This one. All right. Okay, German defeats in World War II. Was the entry of the USA in 1941 the main cause of Germany? You see, after fighting for 2 years or 1 year plus, then the US then come in. And you know, you come in at when? Somewhere on the 8th of December. Yes. After when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, then Germany also declared war with US. Then US then gonna burn a big backside on their backside, big hole on the backside. Then they realize, hey, cannot, I must come in. Ladies and no ladies, gentlemen here. Okay, take note of these 3 points. There were several reasons to the end of World War II. Take note of these 3 points. I'm serious. Take note. Okay. Now, this analysis later we'll talk about it now because of the 2 front. Okay. But to me, out of these 3 points, I feel that entry of USA is stronger than the other two. Okay, because of entry of USA, that makes the German weakness, because he realized this giant called the honey bear come in already. The Yogi bear come in already and say, oh no. That's why they decided to put forces. It's just the same, gentlemen. When you are opening a cafeteria in, say, Westgate, Ethan, is Bedok near your place? Bedok Mall or Marine Parade?
Bedok Mall.
Okay, so Bedok Mall, I got this my working in the Gochisu, the restaurant. So imagine you got this cafeteria in Bedok Mall. Okay, then you know that you got no competitors. Then suddenly got one competitor come in. Okay, you sure you want to put your best chef, your best people in the shop to compete with your competitors? You see, it's the same concept. But if you have no competitors, okay, all along your Bedok Mall, that shop there is very good. Okay, then you don't need to worry about manpower. But because of this entry of the competitors to the Bedok Mall, you tell your wife, hey, wow, cannot. Wow, because of this competitor coming, last time we got 70% of profit. Now because of this guy coming, our profit dropped to 50%, which is 35%. Cannot. I have to start getting back my stuff from Westgate, from IMM, from North Point, from South Point, from Vivo City, from Jurong Point, from Takashimaya, all bring Zhao Bing Mai Ma, correct? It's a go to the things. Same thing at rates and how rate. So the same thing, since you got a shop there, then suddenly got competitor come in. So I feel it, okay, based on my personal experience. Oh, somebody write something. Talk. Then you must tell me you write something. You know, I like to read. So sometimes I miss it. I'm so sorry. Who is writing so much? Rates and thank you. I agree to a large extent that the US direct involvement contributed to the German defeat in the World War II. This is because while the US had its isolation policy, it also built up its military strength. And when the US got involved with the World War II, the US provided with most of the manpower. Yes, exactly. Most manpower and resources which allowed what? Sorry, I can't see. For the cash and the carry. Yes, cash and carry scheme. Yes, very important. Where the US was able to support the allies nation with enough resources. With enough resources, the allied nation was able to fight back against Germany. Yeah, the bombing of the German city. The allied nations were able to fight back against German's invasion. However, I disagree to a small extent that the involvement in US was the main reason that Germany lost World War II. This is because Hitler may make many strategical mistakes where he started the second front against the Soviet Union, which in turn cost many manpower and resources. This one I quite disagree with you, Rachel. The second front is because the Allied forces, the Britain and the Canadians and the resistance of anti-German in France. But because the US provide all these things, you say, support and all this intelligence and all the arsenal or so-called cash and carry. So there is also a reason to contribute. That's why the Hitler also has a reason to fight that. Of course, he act smart, want to spread out his thin resources. But don't forget why he decided to take action in his own hand is because he started not to trust the general because he was nearly assassinated, right, by his own general. Okay. To spare fighting against both allied forces, and so even without the involvement of US, Germany might have lost. Yes, I agree, but it might take a longer time to defeat Germany. Maybe end up in 1950. It might take a longer time. Yes, I agree. But he want to a swift and a safe and a smooth attack to end the war. Not wrong. Okay. Let's see on my slide. Thanks, Rayton. Thank you so much. Okay. Why did the US enter? Okay, prior to US entry, why did they pursue the isolationist policy? How did the US change the strategic war? How critical was this? You see, I use the word crucial, not critical, crucial. Here you use crucial, I use critical. You look at this way. You realize Sweden and Switzerland. Now Sweden also not involved. By right, if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong, but I know Sweden also annexed by German. but I know Switzerland is the only country in Europe. Okay, we don't talk about Ireland. Okay, Ireland was very safe because really they cannot attack. The most is the sabotage here and there, not so big deal. Okay, so these two also not involved. But you see the whole structures of the Germans, the Reichsland, the Third Reich, you see, so big. Okay, so definitely you can see that this is the expansion power of the Hitler. He's very aggressive, and now he's going to expand this. If you are the president of the United States and the prime minister like the UK, obviously, okay, you will have guessed it right that okay, Hitler is a matter of time that because of his greed, because of his aggressiveness, because of his ambitions, identity, that he want to make Germany great again. Is League of Nations, all this is just part of the reason and excuse. Hitler expansion policy and how this one works help German. Yeah, of course, this one starting very good, but the berserker then later on really bonkers, not berserker, very bonkers. Because initially you are aggressive. It's just like, hello, see, this is a war, gentlemen. This is a war, a marathon war. You attack very fast. And every time you go, you attack fast, attack fast, attack fast. You think what? 100 meters sprinting, 50 meter freestyle. This is a long distance war, many years of fight. The soldier will get tired. And then when you, this kind of fighting, you will have casualty. And how are you going to move your casualty when you all these things? You keep moving fast and then you are neglecting your casualty. Then the morale, how? Hey guys, when you go to NS, if you are fit, you go to the combat one, when you attack, you will understand why. 星辰，你有没有看那个浩瑞？星辰，浩瑞 ，You watch the Boys to Men？ 星辰，有没有看 Boys to Men？The movie Boys to Men 有哦，浩瑞有吗 ？Have you watched the 有啊？瑞晨也是有哦，瑞晨。Boys to Men。You will understand what it means. 一晨有吗
Yeah.
一晨有吗？
我没有看那个 movie。
You have to watch. You understand how the old way of NS transformed to the new way of NS. You understand why they changed the techniques. Some of the stupidities to bring the whole cupboard from the third floor to the ground floor and that kind of thing. My grandfather is faster than you, grandmother faster than you, go and kiss the tree, come back, that kind of things. So that kind of the military training is like, cannot work there. Why you do this type of stupid thing? Why you want to train soldier like that? Okay. So you must understand last time is because mostly 70% of the soldiers are uneducated. But now you tell people to do that, they ask you do first and show me how you do. Okay. So this is okay. I don't want to talk too much about this. You all should know. Okay. Encourage commander to make decision without waiting for order for above. This is one way that is not right. In military, you cannot do like that. Okay, you cannot. Okay, this is a hierarchy. Okay, status, you must do it properly. You go NS, you know what I mean. Who is from NCC? Anyone from NCC? Anyone NCC here? Or NPCC? NCC, NPCC, you should know. Even choir also the same, right? You cannot just happy, you can do a lot of things. You must do. Okay, see? I'll make it smaller. Okay, this one cut off. Okay. With this doctrine, despite being outnumbered in tanks and combat, they were able to outfit this. Yeah, starting. But after that, they cannot do it when they fight with the Russian T-34 tank. Okay, they really outnumber them. The Russians do much better because of their thickness, their mobility, their stiffness, and things like that. Even you run too fast, you go fire. Okay, so this is the reason why our dear Roosevelt decided to, but after that, in 7th of December 1941, Pearl Harbor attack, they changed the course of this one into involvement. Okay, that's what you say, in 1940, before the World War II, not going, so I'm not going to involve. So good, so Germany and Japan and Italy took the advantage. Then you see, cash and carry, well done. Okay, allow Britain and France to pursue weapons from US, provided they pay immediately in cash. Wow, so it become like cash converter like that. No? You buy and carry and send in the old things, a cash converter. You know what I mean by cash converter? 的那种弹店 land and lease. Okay, wow. So US, of course, with so money, they could supply food and weapon. Such a big country, because they're enough to feed their own people and also sell. 50 billion at that time is damn bloody a lot. In fact, until today, also a lot of money. Now you know why it's so rich. Then this one, Britain only major allied country left, only left Britain. France fell. So the rest, the Americans did not work hand in hand with other countries. US don't treat the countries as like very strong business partner, because those countries are not able to pay US money, and they are not such a good terms maybe with US, or maybe they do not have the capability and abilities to get those kind of weapons or soldiers. That's why you see after World War II, all the countries wake up to beef up their defense. It's just like some student after first year, like my godson, first year fail everything, then he wake up, then he realized after going into ITE, it was a horrendous course, because his point was 30 points or 31 points, very bad. Then he forced himself just to go ITE. After 3 weeks in the program, he told his mom to quit and told me, God damn, I'm sorry, I have to come back and retake my O-level with you again. Then waste 1 year. Then after that 1 year, after he kind of step here and left and right, he wake up, he study better. Guess what? He's still in ITE. Why? Because he loved to play basketball a lot. And every time he go and play, he really play with his heart. Yeah, which is good thing. But he neglected his study. Okay, but this time his grade is much better. And then he decided to, because he still cannot, he missed by 1 or 2 points in poly, and he don't want to study nursing, so he went to ITE, this time study business course and business course, yeah, and going for higher night tech. So this is something like that, like the wake up call from US. 50-0 destroyer, 8 neighbors. Okay, so how you feel? You know, British and Americans don't really see eye to eye at certain things, because they have a civil war in United States. So they cannot accept it. That they give things to them, and someone is second hand. How you feel, Xingchen? Seriously, right? You feel very sad, right? Imagine your elder son and the second son. Then your second son get the second hand handphone from the elder son. Then your elder son get the best handphone. Xingchen, do you think your second son will be happy? No, right? You say, Daddy, 你偏心的。为什么哥哥每次拿 first hand 的东西，我拿 second hand from you？ So you see, must be 一视同仁, right? But here you see, because the US don't want to involve. So return. Because after that, when US involved, they really send the best there to actually protect its own soldiers. But you also help the British to fight in the second frontier. Okay, this is just to show you. 3,000, cannot take it anymore. Okay, Saving Private Ryan, you know, these are all the movies. We talk about World War II, just to show you. Cash and Carry, yes. Then the D-Day, Uta, Omaha, Go, Juno, and Sword. These are all the strategic positions. Take note of this name. Okay, sometimes they will come up in the SPQ and give you these kind of pictures to ask you why is this. You see, you realize now. Listen, you see, not involved. You see, US, 2 US leh. Then British, Canadian. So you see, US also involved. Who say not involved? I got it correct. As soon as this blows over, we're gonna patch out that fence. Isolation. So this a hurricane tornado coming. Too late already. It's going to destroy the whole place. So it's better to wake up and do something before the attack come to the shore of US. Then it will be too late. When the whole Europe is taken by the Axis power, good luck to you. You see, contribution. US contribute equipment, personal, oil, money. Hey, wait time. You see now, US involvement is so big. I still agree. Then the allies, of course, help. Air supremacy, large airfield, air force than Germany. This is more to the American supremacy. Seriously. Before World War I, Britain was one of the best Navy supremacy. But after that, it was the other way around. During World War I, German tank was the worst tank. World War II, German tank was the best tank. But at the end of the war, the Russian tank beat the German tank. The war itself has kind of identified the strongholds and the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat of each country, what you can do. It's a similar thing now. The COVID-19 has shown the strength, weakness, opportunity, threat of what Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, China, Japan, Korea, and other countries can do to show the difference. Okay? You look at this one. Hey, 星辰，如果你在这边呢，瑞珍，你在这边呢 ，How Ray, you're coming down now. 一晨，你在这边，一晨你在这边 ，You feel very safe, right? 这个瑞珍在这边了嘞。The moment 瑞珍 landed, you see all your friends, your comrades gonna kill, intestine come out. How Ray coming down? The moment you come down, you saw one bullet, boom, your friend died.
So, but I won't feel safe.
Wait, you're right, no? Then 星辰在这边，order Big Mac， 星辰，I think order 快点，等一下我们到这个ambulance 这边呢，order take food。一晨，为什么你不觉得你在这边是安全的呢？在这个船这边。
Because maybe they got bombed.
Yes. If you watch Letter of Iwo Jima, okay, they got this big.
You know the what they call it, the one that go underwater.
Submarine.
Yeah, like then they have the one that like just hit boats.
The mines.
Yeah.
The mine sweeper, the mine. No, the mine. The those like 地雷这样
Yeah, it's like 鱼雷. It's like
地雷 yeah.
Yeah,
How
they
you
just
say
hit the boats.
Yeah, the mines are correct. So see, nobody is safe in this war theater here. Not even the aeroplane. Anybody can be shot down and killed. This is how ugly the war is. And this is how devastating. You see, can you imagine if your soldiers are dying here? 不要忘记，这些全都是有量身的嘞。All are mommy give birth to them. Okay, one loss means the whole family will be lost forever in the entire life. Okay, the day of infirmity, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, contribute a vast resource. Okay, so entry of USA is also, it play a very, very important part. Okay, so okay, you realize the whole slide. Sorry, I just thought about USA. Very bad, huh? Okay, so I can show you this one here. Already, I show you this one here. I show you the defeat of Germany here, the end of World War. Okay, I did take this picture here, Germany defeat here. Okay, this one I show you right just now. I still got a lot of slides to show you, but I only just refer to, okay, I close all the things first. No. Okay. Sorry. Oh, there's one more. Just a quick one, guys. Don't mind. There's one more reason for the defeat of Germany. Okay. History, American, German leaders. Okay, this is another slide I have to show you. So I want to give you an idea how to write your essay. Okay, this is sample questions. Okay, okay, just a quick one, don't mind, 12 marks, 8 marks, 8 marks questions. I can put this in your Google Classroom. Then the Greater German, you see, the same slide as the previous one, but in the different presentations. So by looking at this, you're getting scared. If your country like all taken away, the power go bigger. That means you have bigger competitors. It's just like you're having a cafe of 1,000 square feet, and then their competitor buys a 2,000 square feet. Means they got more capacity of customer. Of course, your customer will go there, and maybe the extra 1,000 of space got better features and things like that. Very scary. American assistant. cash and carry policy, arsenal of democracy to help others. After declaring war, contribute large number of soldiers. See, US, 11 million. The previous slide never mentioned. My slide mentioned 11 millions. So a lot leh. This 11 millions, damn a lot. Then you see got Taiwan some more, China. At that time it was this flag. So see, I show this 7 December 1940, American officially entered war. 7th of December. You see cash and carry, this one. Then you see I use this to draw. June 1944, Operation Overlord D-Day. Wow. And here, American has an arsenal of democracy, 1942, until the end of World War II, contribute of soldier oil. You see, so many things. You see, American contribute all the 5M there. See, this is another, you see, this is rhetorical form. Here, right, 11.1 billion to April 1943. That's a lot of the GDP or the country's expenditure. They control of the air, help them to attack, bombing of the Germans, okay, or prevent the Germans from flying into the British territory. Control of the sea, like U-boat, submarine, long-range aircraft, and a number of warships, the destroyer, the frigates, okay, the cruiser. So American assistance, Operation Overlord. This is the one that you see it play a very. You see, you saw the 4 pictures just now. Right? Next one I'll show you. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, in fact, here got one more. You see one. Here also got one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So out of 7 attack, US contribute 3/7 of it. It's nearly half of the 50%. That is quite a lot. Okay, so if imagine these 3 don't have only the 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think France can be easily conquered back by the British. Okay, German winners. Now you see this one is a very good one. Ineffective command structures, heavy reliance on petroleum, inappropriate use of resources and funds. War on 2 fronts. So out of these 4 points, which one do you think is important? The quick one to me is this fella. All this is not important. Because of this fella, create all these problems. You agree now, Xingchen? Because of this fella, create these 3 problems. You agree now, Yichen? 快点，快点，我要去吃我的宵夜。
Agree.
Harvey, agree now? Thank you. Wow, very fast together. Oh, I like that, man. Harvey and Rayson. Oh, good. 对咯，所以 in exam 写这个瓜，因为这个瓜 this is the guy。所谓上梁不正下梁歪，对吗？一晨，他就是他的造孽。Sorry. The incapability of this guy with all the problem. You see, I'm the only one allowed to be in charge here. Okay, now you win now, in charge. Even though I know nothing about leading an army. What a joke, man. No lah, he knows, but he's not as capable as the actual person who are in the war theater itself. 他只是坐在 office 里面，他只是听那些 general. All these general like General Rommel and fight in the desert fox in Africa. Some of the general will really go there and fight and give command. Remember the reserve that the speed one, the general give command one. Okay, miscalculation. Many new weapons were developed and used without sufficient testing. They never test, they start sending ready. That means they are desperate. Okay, they are very desperate. So this is the one without testing. You can put this new weapons were developed. I can tell you when you write this point, you will definitely impress your teachers. Oh, you know something? Oh my goodness. Oh look. Do you write something? The Japanese one also, yeah. True? Yes. But you see, they never give up. Even though they know that 50% of the chance their weapons are lousy, they will still stand to it. They might be desperate, but they always believe, they strongly believe their things, which is not it's a good thing. That we, as Singaporeans, must not be kiasi. You know what's kiasi? Scared to die or kiasu. Kiasu is good. Sorry, kiasu is good. Scared to lose is good. Kiasi is so good. Japanese is, if nobody do, I do. Singapore is, if nobody do, hey, hello, better don't do lah. Correct? It's in your school, if nobody raise up the hand, I better don't raise up the hand. Keep quiet. In Japanese, oh, I want to answer the question. Wow. Even though it's wrong, they'll slap your head, you baka, they're stupid fella, but they're happy. They learn. Then next time they will think better. Petroleum. I think the second reason is petroleum. Without petrol, you have the best technology aircraft. You're like sitting duck, cannot move. So the second reason is more to the petroleum. There's a question asked, is it heavy reliance on petroleum is the weakness of German defeat? This can be one of the reasons. Second reason. The testing one, not everything is always cannot lah. Maybe out of 10 tests, 3 test fields, some can still work. So I will don't say, I think petroleum is the second reason. Then weakness of two front, I won't say it's really that bad, but because of the weather play a part, of especially the Russian side, the weather play a part. And because of the two front was built because of the commands given, okay, the mistrust given. That's the reason why. Okay, so next one is an organization of Soviet Union. This one is like they are taking the rubbish already, clearing out the rubbish already. 多人死掉了, then they come here and clear the air and take advantage. It's just like Xing Chen and Ray Chen, Hao Ray and Ray Yi Chen. You know, 你老师在叫你在 classroom 扫地 clear already. Then later you and your friend supposed to clean, but your friend eat steak 吃蛇不要坐在那边. Then 看到老师来了，他假假扫. They said, well done, two of you. You clean the classroom very well. It's like, Xing Chen will say, excuse me, I'm the one who cleaning. He's the one who's sitting there and do nothing. He just clean a bit and show you to clear the rubbish. That show is working. Right? Xing Chen, I think you better also, right? Okay. This is something like that. Okay, so they are just like last part. That's all. You see, can I say the Russian is like can I use the word there's this Chinese saying that 吃里扒外，一层什么意思啊？不是吃里扒外吗？It's like, you know, they are taking the people's advantage when people are using it, then you come and take over it. Soon there's a Chinese idiom use it very well about you're using people ideas, but actually it's not your ideas. I forgot. I'm so sorry. This is another one, Battle of Britain, where the British founded all the city in Hansburg, right, and Lipis and Berlin, of course. Okay, and that's where also they destroy a lot of cities, which is not military campaign, but they want to do that. They want to demoralize the morale of the German citizen, the citizen of Germany, yes. Okay. Then the occupations, then these are all the 那些恐怖分子, the terrorists, anti-German, anti-Nazis coming in. So these are the little pocketed of soldiers to attack, run away, attack, that kind of things that they do not really conquest the Gestapo, terrify the local people, so they cannot. Now they come up all these so-called support. Okay, that's the end. So I really cover all these things, and I hope the four of you, I hope next lesson you guys can give me some write-ups for the 2 questions of the US and why Germany defeats, which factors, because I already give you a very detailed, a very vivid example and very systematic how it works. So I like to hear from your voices that maybe not say you want to write a full essay file, because I know Xing Chen, the rest of you next week all go back to school already, 28 对吧？28号回去了as well the set 1, 2 will go back on the 1st of July. So you only got a few days to cover. You finish your school homework. I guess you all haven't finished, right? He said you finished your school homework already. You see, guilty already. Okay lah. Finish your school homework first. Okay, Saturday. Then you've got time. Then you do. Okay, but not necessarily my next week. If let's say in July you want to hand in, then you hand in. Okay, so next week lesson I already said I can't remember what I want to teach you. Okay, right. So let's stop the